We lost our bag. Our bag had valuables, and the most important thing that was in that bag was our passports.
Good morning, good night, good afternoon, wherever your respected time zone may be. You are tuned into Nat and Dean. We're so happy that you're here joining us as we continue sharing with you highlights of our 2025 London trip. Today we are so happy to have you joining us as we have our tea story time. Cheers. So grab your cup of tea and your cup of coffee and join us as we continue to share highlights of 2025 trip to London, England. On today's show, we want to talk about the worst experiences we've had here in London, England.
Right.
So let's ask and let's jump in and let's explore this 2025 trip to London, England. So please share with us, my wife, the worst experience here in London. Share with us.
So good morning, good afternoon, good night from wherever you're watching us from. This is Dee right here. Our worst experience is we lost our bag. Our bag had valuables, and the most important thing that was in that bag was
our passports.
Guys, you are in a foreign land, you don't live here, and your passport is gone. How are you supposed to travel back? And as you guys know, those who've been traveling, you have to have your passport to board that flight. So what happened is we were looking forward for this boat ride. Since we were even before we reached to London, we were looking forward for this boat ride. So we finally got an opportunity to go on the boat ride. We enjoyed the boat ride. We were filming the boat ride. As we came out of the boat to come onto the property, we continued taking pictures and filming videos, and we got caught up in the excitement. And at some point, we misplaced the bag because and we the thing is, we didn't realize where we left the bag. When we had finished filming and our phones were on low battery, then we realized, okay, now we gotta stop to film and take pictures, and we have to go home right now because, you know, navigating the route to go back home was another thing. So we said, let's take off our microphones and put them back into the bag. On doing that, we realized we don't have our bag. And I said to my husband, where is the bag? He said, what do you mean? You had the bag on your arm? I'm like, I don't have the bag. So now we started trying to track our steps back to try and remember where we left the bag. Oh my God. So my first thought was, there's a particular place I remember us sitting down on some nice, lovely wooden chairs, and I had to put the bag behind the chair. I'm thinking, that's what I did, but I wasn't so sure. And I said, if we don't find the bag on that chair, then that means we left it in the boat. Because I remember for sure having that bag in the boat. And at some point, I had to put the bag in a position where it wouldn't affect us doing the filming and the taking of pictures on the boat. So what happened is that we end up my husband ran so quick. I said, because you walk faster than me, try run there and see if you locate the bag on the seats. Because thank God we had not gone too far from we were still in the property. Thank God we were still in the property. We had not left the property yet. So he ran back to check the chairs to see if the bag was there, and guess what, guys? The bag wasn't there. My head was spinning. I was going crazy because we don't know exactly where the bag is. So I said, let me take my phone out to go and check the videos to see if we actually had that bag coming out of the boat ride. My phone was off. My phone has the England chip, whereas we can have access to internet or check the websites, call or whatever, but my phone is off. My husband's phone was on 5%. Our chargers were in the bag. So what to do? Listen, y'all. We were beyond frustrated. We were like, Lord, what is this? What is happening? And guess what? The worst part about this whole thing, this is my husband's birthday. And I'm like, God, is this how my husband's birthday is going to end? I said, Lord, you are the Father of all. You can see everything what we can see. You know exactly where that bag is, Lord. You can see it. Please help us to find it. At that point, I was so emotional and I was so, listen, y'all, I was frustrated, I was emotional, I was devastated, any word you can use. So now we have to sit down and think. So the first thing we said, let's try ask the security guy. There's a security guy that we said hi to as we were. No, we had actually approached him to tell us the the closest station and the best bus route to our place. Since our phones were dead. So we had approached the police, the security guy. Since our phones were, we knew our phones were gonna die because mine was on 3% at that point, and so we had to approach somebody in case our phones die. Then we still know, okay, we'll remember this bus number or this train number and all that. So we went back to the same security guy. We said, hey, how are you? Actually, my husband went to him, and then he actually said he was trying to remember him, but when he saw me, now he remembered, okay, this is the couple that had approached me before. Then my husband explained the situation. He said, the best thing I can do for you is check on my phone to try and go on the website and locate the number. No. Before we went to him, we actually went back to the
before we approached him.
Yeah,
that's
before
right.
we approached him.
We went right back to the
because we really took some time to stroll around the property to see if we left it on different spots. At that time was passing because on the screen it will show you what time the next boat is approaching. So as we were up and about looking for the bag, I noticed the boat approaching, and I told my husband, since you walk faster than me, please run and try catch the boat before it leaves. So I was just walking faster behind him, and we got to speak to the guy who was on that boat. But remember now, Uber boat has many boats. We used Uber boat, and this is just one of the boats. This is not the boat that we used. So my husband explained the situation to the guy and said, are you able to radio call the other boats or the HQ or whoever, tell them to look for a bag that we left. He was sitting on the front row, very first row. The man said he was in a hurry trying to close the boat so they can keep time. He said, no, I'm so sorry, the best thing I can do is you guys go to the website, look for the HQ number and call them and tell them that you've lost your bag. That's all he told us. We said, I said, my phone is off. My husband's phone is on 5%. He doesn't have internet connection. We don't even have a phone to call. Can you please assist? And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. That's the best I can do for you. You're the one who lost the bag, not me. And he closed the door and he gone. I was like, Lord Jesus, all my hope is gone. Because this is the very, very person who was the best person to assist us, because all he needed to do is tell the captain, radio call the other boats and tell them to check. So we was highly disappointed. So that's when we went up and we looked for the security man and we spoke to him, and he said, okay, I can give you my phone to try check the website, see if you can get a number to call. We went on the website, we couldn't find the number, we only saw the chat. But guys, at this point, you don't want to chat with anybody because you don't know. Sometimes they take 24 hours before they respond to you. you want an immediate response. We need to get a phone number. So unfortunately, the man was not able to get the number on his phone and said, I'm so sorry guys, and I wish you best of luck. But yeah, that's all he could have done. So we said, okay, thank you. So we was just trying to think, trying to see if we really left the bag in the boat or it was in the property. But we was highly convicted it was in the boat at this point, because we've already gone around the property and it was not so long before we had left the boat. So we knew, unless somebody was so swift to steal that bag that fast, and that property is a high-end property. Actually, it's a very, very high-end property, and so we didn't expect things like that to happen, like people to steal such a big handbag. How you gonna carry that big handbag on you? And they have a lot of security people around, so before you even take off the property, somebody will locate it, or the cameras will pick you up or something. So we found a coffee shop. We went inside the coffee shop and we went and spoke to this amazing gentleman, and the coffee shop's name is Black Sheep. You guys, please check them out. If you're around Battersea Station, please stop by Black Sheep. That man, he's an amazing man, and he was of great assistance to us because we explained to him the situation. He said, the best thing I can do for you, do you have an iPhone? We said, yes, we have an iPhone. Said, okay, I can charge the iPhone for you. I have an iPhone cable. We said, that's a good one, first step. So he charged the iPhone for us, and he said, I'm gonna try see if I can get any number for you guys. So he got a number for us to call. He said, just give the iPhone a few minutes to charge and then you guys can try call this number. We said, okay. So he advised us, go by so and so station also. They can also have a direct contact to the people them, and they can even assist you better. And he explained to us where the station is. So we said, okay, while the phone is charging, we can go there and try to locate the station. So my husband saying, honey, give me a few minutes, let me go and use the bathroom. And what happened after that?
So I went to use the bathroom, which actually turned out to be my prayer closet. So if you don't have a prayer closet, just find any public bathroom, convert that to your prayer closet. So I went into the prayer closet, I went into the bathroom or the loo or the toilet, I don't know how you call it in your place. And I spoke to the Lord and I said, now, Lord, what do we do? How do we attend to this case?
Right.
So the Lord said to me, he said, go to the very first restaurant, the first store that is closest to the place where you took the photos. Because at this time we had made 2 stops back to the dock. Or was it 3? By this time we'd have made 3 stops, I'm thinking. Yeah, by this time we'd have made 3 stops back to the dock. We spoke with the first driver that told us basically he couldn't help us use the internet. We made a second stop, spoke to another driver that was behind him. He said a similar thing, but he said the website to use, this one was a little more helpful. He actually gave us the exact website, the email, sorry.
Yeah, the email.
He said, email them your concerns, the second boat. And after we had spoken to him, then the exact boat that we actually came on, that one actually pulled up at this point. And by the time the exact boat pulled up, he said to us, hey, right when I approached him, he didn't even let me talk, but right when I approached him and said, hey, we were there, we left our bag on the boat. He said, I've checked already, we checked twice actually, and your bag's not here. Right. So then my wife is now with a pitiful face and said, but our passports are there, we left our documents in there. So he actually said, if you want to, you could just come on the boat and check. That's what he said, because he's convinced the bag is not there. Because this is the same guy that welcomed us when we first entered that boat.
But remember now, he said, if you enter the boat, we don't have time for you to wait for you to check. You're gonna have to go over to the next stop and exit from the next stop
Right, yeah.
as you're checking the place.
Yeah, because they're on a time,
The time,
restraint.
right.
Right.
So we weighed our options and we choose to trust him for some reason. I don't know.
Because he was convincing. He said, we checked. He said, the first boat that you spoke to, they actually radioed us and told us what had happened. So I'm like, oh, so that actually gave me a little more confidence.
The same mean guy.
Yeah, that the actual first main guy actually, I hate to call you main, I know you're watching us. Sorry, main guy, but thank you for actually calling. So the guy actually called and it made me feel a little better
Yeah.
that he actually tried to assist us.
Yeah.
So he called the headquarters and told the dispatcher that one couple left one of the boats and they left their bag, and so they all checked and they concluded that there's no bag on the boat. And then, the actual guy said, well, sometimes you have some dishonest passengers that actually may have seen your bag
Yeah.
and they may actually took it with them, and so that was the worst fear, that there was another passenger
Yeah.
that actually saw it.
Because people actually came.
Because it was in and out, in and out,
Right.
in and out. Just
When we came out,
consistent.
other customers came
Were
into
entering.
the boat.
Yeah, when we alighted, other people were just joining the boat ride.
Right.
And so our fear was that, hey, and no doubt it was another customer that
Right.
came on, saw the bike, somehow they concealed it and just ran away with
Ran
it.
away with it.
So you can just imagine
Right.
the fear of knowing your documents were lost
Oh my God.
and all of the procedures you would have to go through to restore
Worst experience.
passports. We have visas in those passports,
And the money you
etc.
have to come up with.
Then the money. Then on top of that, if your stay is extended,
That's
hotel
more money.
fee, all the other associated costs
Right.
that you may incur if you did not reclaim your passports.
Right.
So after we had spoken with 3 different boats, and they're saying to us, hey, it's not there, we realized that we went back to the coffee shop
Right.
now, where my wife's phone was actually on charge, because the phone itself would help us to eliminate where
We left the
where we left the bag. So luckily, my wife got the phone when we entered the coffee shop for the second time. And when we entered the second time, that's when
sat down.
we sat down, we watched
The video.
the videos. And when we watched the videos, I noticed my wife made an arm gesture
Like,
as though she was fixing the bag
Right.
on her shoulder.
but we couldn't see the bag clearly. at
Yeah,
first.
it was
We
not
had-
clear.
we had to watch that video like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, and watch and be very keen on our eyes,
Right.
because the bag was not visible
To the bottom.
to the bottom, because how the camera
Right,
was
was
positioned.
hidden, right.
Yeah, you couldn't really see it. But the very fact that I saw my wife pushing her arm as though she's pulling the string to
And
position it.
we saw a little
Yeah.
part of the bag
You could
to
see
the bottom.
to the bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
And that gave us, like you said,
Confidence.
the confidence that, hey, at least we've eliminated the bag is
It's not in the boat.
indeed not on the boat as the boat staff had reported.
Right.
So at least we felt a little better that, hey, okay, at least we know it's not there.
Yeah.
So it must be here on this compound, on this
Right.
campus. Because this is actually a big mall with condominiums
Right.
and living accommodations. This is a high-end
Yeah.
property that we are actually on.
Yes. Yes.
And so after we realized, hey, the bag is here on land, we now need to locate amongst this place here.
Right.
So we now had a task now to go and search land and see if we can find the bag. So as my wife said, then I went to my prayer closet. I said, let me run to the toilet, the loo, to the restroom, and I'll come back out.
Right.
And then we'll go and now look on the compound.
Right.
So after I went into the bathroom, like I said, I began to talk to the Lord. And that's when the Lord said to me now, go to the first stall, the first restaurant
Right.
that's actually facing where we were sitting.
Yeah.
Because as my wife said, there was only 2 places it could have been. Either on the boat or at that first stop.
Yeah.
Or those wooden
Seats.
seats where we
Yeah.
took the photos. There was the only 2 options. So we've eliminated it's not on the boat, so it must be where we sat. So I went to the restaurant. I spoke with the hostess. I told her what my plight was. So she said, now what to do? The building just across the street. Go to that building.
Right.
That's the power station.
Right.
It's called the what? Better See
Station.
Power Station.
Okay.
This is in London, England. They actually have a little mall converted in that power station. So she said, go to they have a concierge desk there, a help desk, lost and found. Go there and tell them your story.
Right.
So I left that restaurant. My wife never even came because I was moving fast.
Yeah.
I was a man on a mission.
I was crying.
My wife was crying and weeping the tears. She had conducted a pity party.
Guys, I was praying.
Trying to,
I was begging
asking
God.
the Lord to
Lord, please,
help her
Lord.
to locate that bag, and which was rightly so. And so I left her. I rushed past her. I said, "Hey, come! I'm being directed to this building." So I left her behind me. You should see me walking. And as I'm walking, I actually looked in the garbage bin. There's a trash can on that path. Because I'm thinking maybe someone grabbed the bag. Because I now know the bag is here.
Hey, wait. Thank God we had our credit cards on us. Because guys, I don't know what we would have done if we didn't find that bag. We had our credit cards on us. And so we knew for sure the money is not in the bag. There was no money in the bag. It was only the passports and other
personal effects.
Right.
So I even stopped, looked in one of the trash cans because I'm saying maybe someone may have seen the bag, took out whatever they wanted and dumped the bag. That was my thought. I looked,
That's a branded bag though.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. So I ran into the building that I was directed, the power station. And there was a short lady there with a nice smile, welcome to me. I said, "Hi, how are you?" I said, I'm not too good. My day isn't going too good. So she said to me, "Your bad day will turn out to be a good day." So I said, "Thank you so much." So I said, "Now what I've come to you for, some good minutes ago, my wife and I were on the outside and we left her bag on the outside." So she said, "What color was the bag?" Now right when she asked me which color was the bag was a hint that, hey, she was aware of something. She said, "What color was the bag?" I said the bag was green. It had 2 passports in it. And so then she asked, "What's the brand name on the bag?" At this time, my wife had just entered I've done all of that. My wife just catching up to me. So by this time, now she asked, "What's the brand name on the bag?" What did you say to her?
Yeah, so I said the brand name is a Michael Kors.
Michael Kors is the brand name on the bag. And so I noticed when she tilted her eyes to look at the bag to see the name. And then I followed her eyes and I said, "That's the bag. There it is." So before she even touched it, I just followed her eyes and I saw the bag on the floor underneath the desk. I said, "That's the bag." I said, "That's it right there." So I was so relieved that the bag was here. And so she began to pull it up. I said, she said, "Now, I know it, I believe it's your bag, but I have to, because of security reasons, ensure and scrutinize that, hey, this indeed is your bag." I said, "Okay, open up the bag, open the passport. You're going to see my wife's name." I gave her my wife's name, and she said it again as she's opening. "I know it's your bag, but I just have to follow protocol to confirm and do it the right way." And so she opened it. She said, "Yeah, this is it." I said, "Yes, I knew. I told you it was the bag."
Right.
And so she said, so then I think my wife asked her, "So how did you come to get my bag? How did you locate my bag?" And what did she say?
I think she said the security found the bag.
Yeah, I think she said that, no, I think she said that the police officer found the bag and she brought it to the previous security officer whose shift had ended or he had relocated to, because I think she said he went upstairs. Something I remember saying. So I think his shift at that front desk had ended. And he had to go to another post or another position, something like that. And he had just informed her, if anyone come looking for a bag, this is the bag here. It was found by a police officer that brought it.
And she said she was praying that we will locate it and come to them. They were praying that we will come to them.
And she said, "We were waiting for you to come to collect." I said, "Here we are." we are here.
Yeah.
And so I must tell you, that was a relief. That was a relief. What were you
God.
thinking about as you were
Okay,
trying to clean?
let me give you a fun fact, guys. When as you were up and down looking for this bag,
Hey.
my husband was like, that was very funny. My husband said, honey, I wonder if the Lord wants us to relocate to London. I'm like, how can you be thinking about relocating to London? I mean, here we are, and I'm like, before you even think of relocating to London, do you understand? Do you realize that it's gonna be a whole long process to go and report this whole thing, and it's gonna just be messy and all. But then that was very funny that he was thinking like that. Now the thing is, at that point, I was really praying, and it's like I had to come out of my fear and put my fears to the Lord. And at that point, I was really in sync with the Holy Spirit and communicating this to Him and telling Him, Holy Spirit, I don't know, you know, I mean, you are my Father, you are my God, you know exactly, you can see this bag right now as I'm talking to you, you know exactly where this bag is, and you can help us to locate it. Please help us to locate this bag. And I remember at some point I was praying and saying, if somebody has stolen it, Lord, please touch their hearts, let them not have peace until they return this bag while we're still at the property, before we give up and go, you know. That is what was going on in my mind and my spirit. But guess what? One thing I've learned to embrace and accustomed to is, anytime you're going through and the devil brings fear and discouragement and all this, the best person to turn to is the Lord, because guess what? God has an answer for everything. We went to the security, they tried their best, but they didn't make it to help us. We went to the guy in the coffee shop. He tried his best. He was a very kind man, but he wasn't able to give us the solution. But when we went to the Lord, when my husband prayed about it, God directed him to what he's supposed to do about this. So God has the answer for everything, absolutely everything. And not to mention, after that, we said with my husband, let's go back to this man who really helped us. Let's first start with the lady who pointed us to the building. We went and told her thank you, we found the bag, and then we went to the man with the coffee shop, Black Sheep
coffee shop,
right? And we told him thank you, and because we had to go and collect our selfie stick, he told us, do you guys care for a cup of coffee? We said, yeah, we wouldn't mind. He said, just to cheer you up. So guess what? He blessed us with 2 hot chocolates and 2 dishes, right, 2. And guess what, guys? He told us he's just blessing us with that, and we don't need to pay for that. We're like, oh my God, this guy is so kind. You guys, if you go to Battersea Station, don't go to any other coffee shop, go to Black Sheep Coffee Shop. He's such an amazing guy, and we just want you guys to be a blessing to him as well. So we went looking for the other security man who was trying to help us, so we didn't find him. So yeah, but God bless their heart, God bless their souls. And so after that, we was on our way home with our bag, and everything was in the bag, and we give God all the glory. Yay!
Hallelujah. Voilà, c'est fini. Finish right.
That is awesome. We got everything in the bag. And so what was the next worst experience, or should we do this on the next episode?
Probably next episode we'll talk about part 2.
Part 2, guys. Stay tuned for part 2, where we tell you the other worst experience we had. And this other worst experience that we had is something that will help you when you come to London. Lesson number 1 on this: make sure you have all your belongings on you. Do not forget, always look behind to make sure you haven't left anything all the time. It's very important for you to have your passports on you, just in case the security stop you or whatever, if anything happens, then you have your passport to show that, hey, you're here and you're here rightfully. Yeah. And the other thing is, stay tuned for part 2, because at this point we're going to discuss with you something that you can avoid that will help you not to waste your money and time. Stay tuned for part 2, and thank you for watching Nat and D. Until next time, guys. Woo! Don't forget to finish your cup of tea.
Cheers.
Cheers.